News Talk 610 AM and 102.1 FM. KBNU.
KBNU News Time is 4:05. I'm Bill Walter with this news update brought to you by Mount Logan Laundry. A train crash in Trenton has left a pickup truck driver in critical condition this afternoon. On the scene live to tell us more, KBNU's Will Philwright. Will?
Yeah, that's right, Bill. In fact, crews are continuing their investigation. This was a fully loaded freight train, more than 100 cars on this train as it was traveling south. And from what authorities believe at this point, the driver of the truck attempted to cross the tracks at 110 West, 800 South in Trenton, did not see the approaching train for some reason, proceeded over the tracks and was struck. The train continued for about another quarter of a mile before it was able to completely come to a complete stop. The driver of the truck had to be extricated from the vehicle by emergency crews and transported to a hospital in critical condition. We're receiving reports now that he is being transferred down to Ogden for further treatment. Now, he has not been identified by authorities pending notification of family, but we do believe that he is a local resident of the community. Now, this stretch of 800 South was closed for a time due to the fact that the train was completely blocking the tracks. Crews expect to have the train cleared from the scene shortly, but right now they're just trying to determine exactly what may have caused this man not to see the train. There are no crossing arms, as this is a very rural part of the valley, and so it's unknown exactly why the man did not see this large freight train approaching the intersection as he attempted to cross. Reporting live from Trenton, Will Philwright, back to you guys in the studio.
All right, thank you very much, Will. KBNU News Time is 4:07. KBNU weather for tonight. Still a threat of snow showers this evening in our forecast. And the overnight low tonight in the upper teens, close to 20 degrees. And then cloudy, gradually becoming partly cloudy tomorrow. High temperature around 30 degrees. Right now, it's 24. KBNU weather brought to you by Northern Steel Buildings. Contact their Cache Valley team to find out or to protect what's yours at northernsteelbuilding.com. Value from concept to construction. Call Northern Steel Buildings at 435-677-7300.
The colder weather is here. Are your quilts and blankets looking dingy? Is your winter coat or jacket dirty enough to stand in the corner just by itself? Well, go to Mount Logan Laundry. It'll take no time at all to freshen up everything. They have the 55 and 80-pound washers, the biggest around, and great big dryers, too. And it costs a whole lot less than dry cleaning. Free Wi-Fi and drop-off service. Mount Logan Laundry really is the cleanest spot in town on the corner of 5th East, 9th North and Logan, or in Brigham at 1st East, 7th South. Mount Logan Laundry.
KBNU News Time is 4:08. New data has revealed that Utah is the state most likely to complete Dry January successfully. Dry January is a campaign where people sign up to abstain from alcohol for the month of January. Researchers at the price tracking website pricelisto.com have crunched the numbers to find out how each state is likely to fare during Dry January. They analyzed and ranked each state against three categories: alcohol consumption, cost of excessive alcohol consumption, and percentage of binge drinking per state. According to the numbers, Utah ranked as the state that consumes the least amount of alcohol in the U.S., as well as the state that spends the least amount on excessive alcohol consumption. The data showed West Virginia is the second most likely state to complete Dry January. West Virginia had the lowest percentage of binge drinkers out of every state in America. The remaining top five states were Georgia, Kentucky, and Oklahoma. Now, the organization found the states most likely to fail Dry January were Vermont, Wisconsin, Alaska, Montana, and Wyoming. And a best-selling author of crime stories and other nonfiction works is working on a book about the stabbing deaths this past November of 4 students at the University of Idaho. Howard Bloom has a deal with HarperCollins Publishers, which has not yet announced a title or release date. His previous books included Wanted, The Search for Nazis in America, and American Lightning, Terror, Mystery, The Birth of Hollywood, and The Crime of the Century, which in 2009 won an Edgar Award for Best Fact Crime Book. He has been reporting on the Idaho killings for the digital newsletter Airmail. KBNU News Time is 4:10. For more details on these and other stories, visit CacheValleyDaily.com.
News Talk KVNU, 610 AM and 102.1 FM.
We start each new year filled with hope and prosperity for things to come. At Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology, it's no different. Dr. Daines is so grateful to get to call Cache Valley home and continue to offer his services to the wonderful people that live in our beautiful valley. He wants to help you start your new year off right by improving your hearing, which over the course of time will help improve your quality of life. Give them a call at 435-753-4327 or 753-HERE to schedule an appointment, or you can visit them online at CacheValleyHearing.com. Are you moving into a new home? You want to breathe your own dirt, not somebody else's. You should have your air ducts cleaned by the Duct Hunter to get rid of old dust, pet hair, and a variety of other people's dirt. Call today to get on the schedule for a free consultation. Call the Duct Hunter at 770-4813.
We are the Duct Hunter. Breathe better, save money, protect your home. We are the Duct Hunter.
For the people.
We are waiting with bated breath for news from the Cache Republican Party meeting an executive committee tonight.
With Jason Williams.
And I'm really excited about this next segment. We have 2 guests here in studio. We're going to talk about something that we've talked about many times here on the show, but from a bit of a different angle.
Weekday afternoons from 4 till 6 on News Talk KVNU, 610 AM and 102 FM.
Welcome to KVNU's For the People. Thursday, January 8th, 19th. I'm Jason Williams. Bill Walter here in the studio. Appreciate everyone joining us today, and please stick with us throughout the show. Yesterday, we heard from Logan City Mayor Holly Daines on the legislative session, some bills that Logan City's concerned about. The legislature, again, with an itch to take control from local cities and counties and consolidate it into, don't you know who they are? The smartest people in the state. It looks like they're at it again. Logan City concerned about some stuff. We'll hear what North Logan City is paying attention to in the upcoming session, or ongoing session, in week 2 as we speak, or headed into week 2 as we speak, from North Logan Mayor Lindsay Peterson. Right now, though, Thursdays at 4, our chance to step away from the heavier things in the news each day into the world of arts and entertainment, talking theater here on our Theater Hour with Charlie Schill. He writes for CacheValleyDaily.com, where you can read his work every day. But once a week, he joins us here in the studio to let you know what you can get out and see, what you should be putting on your calendars. And Charlie, hi.
How you doing?
Welcome. It's this has to be a nice break for you, too. I was thinking about all the things going on in the news this week with various cities and things like that. You have to, at least this hour, you can put it all aside and not have to talk to any elected officials.
That's true.
Just talk about theater.
Last week we had a caller call in to ask a question about the Shakespeare Festival down in Cedar City.
Oh, sure.
And we assured him that, things were not going well for the Shakespeare Festival, but at least they're going ahead with their season.
Okay.
And we didn't know what we were talking about.
Okay.
It's not been a very good year for the Shakespeare Festival. That's all you can say about it.
Yeah.
They've still got an interim artistic director, Derek Charles Livingston, in charge of the production. They've got Michael Baird is their interim managing director as well. And one of the things I said last week was that, at least they're producing West Side Story. That
Yeah.
that they're not into the big Shakespeare shows this year. They're doing Midsummer Night's Dream and Timon of Athens, my God, and Coriolanus.
Oh, wow.
But they're not doing, well, as it turns out, they're not doing West Side Story either.
That surprised me because that was, I think, one of the biggest things they had planned.
Well, see, that's the problem. They had
too
it
bad.
planned, but it didn't work out that way.
It's too bad.
They were going to do that show at the Ingolstadt Theater, which is an outdoor venue. Years and years ago, they built the Adams Shakespeare Festival, Shakespeare Theater,
Oh, that's right. The
big old one.
Yeah.
And they used that for years, and then they got a donation, and the Ingolstadts allowed them to build a new, much larger theater,
yeah.
much more technologically advanced, all that kind of stuff. And rather than tearing down the Adams Theater, they're using it for rehearsals and that sort of thing. But the problem is it's outdoor, and when it's outdoor, they had a pipe burst over the holidays.
Oh, no.
And it flooded their tech room and destroyed all their equipment for doing. They have really advanced equipment for doing musicals.
Yeah, this would be tens of thousands, I would assume.
Yeah, and on top of that,
Wow.
due to supply chain issues, excuse me,
It's all right. It's in the air.
they
That's
can't
unfortunate.
replace the equipment that was damaged.
That's, in a way, I'm glad that this is what it is, because my first thought when I saw that headline, my very first thought was they are in trouble. Because they had a little drama last summer.
Yeah.
and then rumors have gone around that, that they're imploding, that they're falling apart. And so I'm, in a way, I'm happy to learn that it's, a broken pipe. And obviously that's really unfortunate still, because I know a lot of people just in my friend circle were excited about this. Does it limit any of their other productions as well? Just
See,
that one?
Here's the deal. They were going to do... the Shakespeare Festival has got numerous stages to work with.
Yeah.
They've got the Randall Jones Theater and which is an indoor theater that they're going to use to produce Emma, which is a Jane Austen musical.
Oh, yeah.
But for some reason, they've decided not to move West Side Story to that same venue. Probably a scheduling issue.
That's interesting.
But
So they're just shutting the whole thing down.
and
That's too bad.
they're going to produce Romeo and Juliet in the Ingolstadt Theater. Because that doesn't involve a lot of sound equipment.
Just lights, right?
Yeah, and all that's working.
That's
So-
good news, at least. That's too bad that, all the work that had gone into that throughout the year, and now here they are having to just wipe that from the calendar. Their calendar's still pretty full, though, I notice. I mean, there's still, for those who enjoy going down to the festival, it's not like you won't have anything to see. But as you and I discussed, too, their lineup this year is a little conservative. Some of the safer and maybe even less exciting Shakespeare plays.
Well, they already had 3 Shakespeare plays in their lineup, and they're going to be doing Coriolanus in modern dress, which should be interesting.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
I kind of like that when Shakespeare's done. Well, it's such a fine line because I saw. Well, there was a movie a while ago where they tried to, with Leonardo DiCaprio, they tried to really modernize Romeo and Juliet.
Romeo and Juliet, sure.
Yeah, and it works in a way, and then it doesn't in another way. And so I'm always nervous when they're going to bring it into the modern era. But I like the idea of that dress and seeing that play out in a way that is less what you expect, I guess, when you see Shakespeare.
The Lyric did Macbeth a couple of years back. It must have been 2019.
Yeah.
And the way they did it was they put all of the soldiers in camouflage uniforms. So you had this kind of Mad Max flavor to the thing.
That's
because
interesting.
they were all running around with machine guns and swords.
That's interesting.
And
That would work. That works, though.
what do you call it? Jason Spielberg, the associate director of the Lyric, is a nut about stage combat. And he choreographed. Anyway, he choreographed that final fight scene between Macbeth and Macduff.
That could be done in.
Oh, it was good. It was really good. And I mean, the no holds barred, throwing people across the stage and all that other kind of stuff. It was really good.
That scene is supposed to be that way.
It should be.
If you read it, rarely does it get done on the stage the way it reads.
No, and and the worst thing of all is you've watched the whole play and you're waiting for somebody to cut Macbeth's head off, and the two of them waltz off stage so that, let's fight.
Yeah.
And they waltz off stage. Oh, dear. It didn't happen.
I remember, in fact, I think the last time I saw this, they both drew sticks, swords, and they were lightly tapping them against each other as they exited the stage.
That's not what Shakespeare intended.
No, it's supposed to be this bloody,
Yes.
violent battle as a crescendo for the whole atmosphere of the play. And yeah, I'm excited. That's interesting. The idea of doing that as a modernized fight.
So now, going back to the Shakespeare Festival in Cedar City, they'll have those 3, run of the mill. Coriolanus is not going to be run of the mill because nobody's ever seen it live.
Yeah.
But
that'll be interesting.
They're also doing the Shakespeare play Romeo and Juliet, from which West Side Story was derived.
That's interesting.
And I think it'll be really good.
People forget that. I had a lot of people say, why is the Shakespeare Festival doing West Side Story, which of course they aren't now, but
it's a modernization of a Shakespeare play. Yeah.
It was, in fact, this was funny. When the movie came out, the Spielberg the new version came out a couple of years ago. I remember somebody, Salon Magazine online, one of the journalists there had gone back and found all these critiques of West Side Story when it was originally performed on stage and in that original film. And that was one of the critiques. A lot of critics saying, boy, this sure sounds a lot like Romeo and Juliet. To which the producer replied at one point, well,
Yeah, duh.
yeah, we thought that was common knowledge.
Well, they credited.
It says in the...
Shakespeare.
So funny.
I really think this one will be good for the festival because it's going to be directed by Betsy McGavro. She's a festival veteran. She played Juliet in 2017. She was in Peter and the Starcatcher in 2013. She was in Shakespeare in Love, which is the stage version of the movie, in 2017. The Book of Will, which is a story about how Shakespeare's folio eventually came to be.
Interesting.
And she directed the festival's touring show of Much Ado About Nothing, which is one of my favorites, in 2000 last year. So that show is going to be in good hands.
So this is somebody who knows what they're doing. That's
no question about it.
I'm excited because it's one of the, to my knowledge, least performed Shakespeare pieces. I mean, this is a rarity compared to what you can usually see. So
yeah, I suppose.
And it's one of the better, I think. I enjoy the story.
It's a good story, and there's plenty of action in it too.
Yeah. It's the closest he gets to a thriller.
They're all going to end up dead. But
yeah, everybody dies.
Everybody, you die, she dies, everybody dies.
That's kind of the theme. What a dark time, too. That was the popular entertainment. Of course, I guess it's not that much different today. I was just thinking, I watched the Mission Impossible movie trailer today, and a similar thing kind of going on there. But Charlie Schill, our guest here in the studio for the People Theater Hour. You're welcome to join us. 753-5868. We'll be back with more right after this.
Hey everybody, John Weiss from Heritage Jeep. Getting from point A to point B in Utah weather is always a gamble, unless of course you're in a Jeep. And there's never been a better time to find yourself behind the wheel of one of the most rugged and capable vehicles on the planet. Right now at Heritage, check out $4,500 bonus cash allowance on 2022 Jeep Gladiator 4x4, the Jeep that does it all. Heritage Jeep, your hometown dealer with the biggest deals.
Own a small business or a farm? You thought about solar? Listen up. A new USDA grant was announced allocating $300 million for farmers and small business owners to put in solar. That's right. The government will help you get solar installed, covering 40% of the costs. And don't forget, as a business, you can save up to 50 or 60% more with federal and state tax credits. Second Sun Solar will install your system and help with the USDA paperwork. Call Second Sun Solar today at 435-363-9917 or online at UtahSolarDirect.com.
A few listeners texting in. People have, I guess, run into the situation out in Trenton, or rather, they've run into the train stopped across some intersections there.
Don't say run into.
Yeah, not run into. That was...
They've encountered.
They've encountered a train sitting on the tracks. As you heard at the top of the hour, if you weren't listening yet at the top of the hour, a train vehicle incident, someone crossing an intersection in front of a fully loaded freight train there in Trenton. And that situation, as far as we know, we heard from Will. He's on the scene. Will Philwright from Cache Valley Daily and KVNU out there. We heard from him live at the top of the hour news break, saying that they're hoping that they'll be getting that train moving soon. But yeah, if you have business out in the area, if you live out in the area, the train, as far as we know, is still stopped on those tracks. And a couple of texts from listeners here saying that they, as Charlie it's a scene. It's a crash scene with injuries. So
And it's going to pretty much isolate Trenton.
yeah, it's yeah, and I would guess if it's fully loaded, this is a long train, so probably a few intersections impacted by that. But they will told us at the top of the hour they'll be getting that moving as soon as they can. And I know for a lot of people there aren't good ways around. So good luck. Come back out to Valley View Highway maybe and head north that way. But we'll let you know as soon as we hear more. But yeah, just a couple of texts coming in about that, folks, saying there's a train sitting across this intersection and it hasn't moved in a long time. Yeah, it might not be for a bit more. So you're listening to our Theater Hour with Charlie Schill. We've been talking about the Shakespeare Festival, some of the things they have planned. I stumbled across this, trying to click through to see when USU, the King College of the Arts, fire up their schedule again in February. And I stumbled across something this weekend for opera fans. USU Opera presenting Theodora. This is Handel's oratorio. And it's the story of Theodora and the newly converted Roman, Didymus, in the 4th century Roman border town of Antioch, center of early Christian Roman tensions. Sung in English, performed with the cane string quartet, it says, and content includes references to, content warning here, content includes references to both rape and death. And that's this Saturday, 7:30 to 9:30, one performance only at the Russell Wanless Performance Hall. So that wasn't on the calendar when I looked at the calendar just last week. So I'm not sure what the story is there, why this was added, or maybe they just had forgot to include it previous. But there's something for you this Saturday, opera fans. I know a bit about Theodora. This is a depressing one. Don't head up there looking for some lighthearted entertainment, even though it's in English.
It's Handel.
Yeah, his are... He's kind of a negative guy. What else is going on out there? King College of the Arts isn't loading for me right now. Normally I'm able to see if Wendy's snuck anything else onto the calendar there, but...
Well, they'll be going to Puffs in early February, like the 7th or the 9th, something like that.
Okay.
And that's a Harry Potter spin-off show.
Actually sounds like it could be funny.
Oh, I'm sure it will be.
Yeah.
It could also be bizarrely... I used to work at Conservice, and there are two driving themes in that particular one is one in that particular work environment. One is Star Wars. Everybody is Star Wars crazed, and two is Harry Potter. Everybody's Harry Potter crazed.
Yeah.
We used to have all kinds of delightful quizzes and trivia contests about Harry Potter, of which I could never answer any of the questions.
I'm familiar, but not expert, and not interested in being expert. But man, I have some younger relatives though that I do pretty good on the Star Wars trivia, but the Harry Potter stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would get all the references, but I'm guessing that this is going to attract a decent-sized crowd.
Oh, yeah, I would
in
think
Cache
so.
Valley.
The kids will turn out for it, definitely.
Yeah, that's... we talked about this last week, but also tomorrow night, Repertory Dance Theater at the Eccles, and tickets still available for that. And then the next, then they have the Banff Outdoor Film Tour, presented by Camp Saver and USU Outdoor Programs. That's February 3rd and 4th. And as Charlie mentioned, Puffs. February 10th, Jazz at Lincoln Center presents Songs We Love. That's a one-night event from the national touring thing. The Johnson Files again. We've talked about this before. This is
a sort of YouTube thing.
Improv, for the younger crowds. And I noticed they're doing the comedy nights again throughout the year. And then Newsies, February 24th.
And that's Music Theater West.
So it'll be good.
Yep. Unfortunately, that will not have our girl, Celeste Bayo.
Oh, not at all?
No, because basically it's practically an all-male cast.
Oh, yeah. I guess that makes sense.
I mean, I haven't seen a cast list yet. I got to ask for one, but I doubt that Celeste will be there, which means nobody to watch.
She's talented.
She's
very fun to watch on the stage. And here in our studio. We'll have to find an excuse to get her back in again.
She did such a good job as the ditzy blonde in Singing in the Rain.
And it's funny if you know Celeste because she's the opposite of that.
Oh yeah, she's very.
But she did that well.
Marilyn Monroe used to say that it took a smart actress to be able to play a dumb blonde.
I like that. 753-5868 if you'd like to join us. It's our theater hour with Charlie Schill. More to come. First, though, a look at the news with KVNU's Bill Walter.
Thank you, Jason. KVNU News Time is 4:36, and the news is brought to you by U&I Furniture. The driver of a truck was hospitalized after being struck by a train this afternoon. The crash was reported just before 1:30 p.m. near 110 West, 800 South in Trenton.
We were informed the occupant needed to be extricated out of the car, which they were, and then they were taken up to a hospital in critical condition.
We have received word that they have been apparently transferred down to the Wasatch Front for more specialty care. Authorities are not releasing the identity of the driver pending notification of family. They do believe he was a local resident. The train continued to travel along the tracks for some time before coming to a stop.
We have our accident reconstruction investigators up on scene, and we won't have any additional information on that investigation for quite some time.
The area is not one that has heavy traffic, and deputies do not believe that there are crossing arms at that crossing to warn drivers of an oncoming train. The Biden administration is directing $930 million toward reducing wildfire dangers in 10 western states by clearing trees and underbrush from national forests. The move announced today comes as government officials have struggled to contain destructive infernos being made worse by climate change. U.S. Agriculture Secretary Tom Vilsack warned that draconian budget cuts floated by some Republicans who control the U.S. House could undermine the Democratic administration's ambitions to lower wildfire risks. The work is projected to cost up to $50 billion. Last year's climate and infrastructure bills combined included about $5 billion for the task. Lauri Markkanen had 34 points and 12 rebounds to help the Utah Jazz beat the shorthanded L.A. Clippers last night, 126-103. Markkanen returned after missing 2 games because of a bruised hip. KVNU News Time is 4:38.
It's the January closeout and clean out time at U&I Furniture with lots of really good value store-wide. Pick out a chair, lift chairs, accent chairs, rocker recliners. Choose options like power or manual, fabric or leather, chairs with lumbar support and heat. They've also picked up lots of Maluk products at closeout prices. A queen hybrid mattress is $489, normally twice that. Queen headboards less than $100, and while they last, queen adjustable bases $199. For 93 years, a family-owned business where you'll like their honest approach. There's always a better buy at U&I Furniture, downtown Logan.
KVNU weather for tonight. Mostly cloudy skies, a slight chance of snow this evening, low 15 to 20. Partly cloudy tomorrow, high around 30. Partly cloudy, colder on Saturday, high in the lower 20s. It's 24 right now at KVNU. KVNU weather brought to you by Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology, Cache Valley's most trusted name in hearing aid technology. Call 753-HEAR, 753-HEAR. For more details on these and other stories, visit CashValleyDaily.com. Let's check Wall Street now with Edward Jones.
This is financial advisor Clayton McMurdy from Edward Jones, bringing you the closing financial market report for Thursday, January 19th. Equity markets slid again today on the back of weakening economic data and contracting corporate margins. Value and growth-style stocks were largely neck and neck during the sell-off, and another big market overhang is the Fed and its aggressive rate hiking cycle to combat inflation. Although inflation has slowed, it has come at the cost of weakening economic data, which has proven to be a headwind for equity markets, while a still aggressive Fed has capped any gains in the fixed income market. Retail sales growth surprised to the downside in the latest reading, pointing to a consumer that is losing their propensity to spend as excess savings are drawn down and prices rise. Lower consumer spending usually leads to a period of higher unemployment and to softer margins for corporations. News has also been trickling in from the tech sector that layoffs are growing in size and frequency as Amazon starts to lay off over 18,000 employees along with Meta, Alphabet, Microsoft, and Salesforce. The job market is often the last shoe to drop before a recessionary period takes shape, and recent layoff announcements stoke fears that a recession is coming this year. We think there will be a recession in early 2023, but we expect the recession to be shallower and shorter than the historical average. Today in equities, the Dow was down 253 points at 33,044. The Nasdaq was down 105 points at 10,852, and the S&P 500 closed down 30 points at 3,899. In bond markets, 10-year Treasury yields are currently at 3.4%. And in commodity markets, the price of crude oil was up 93 cents at $80.73, and the spot price of gold was up $27.10 at $1,934.10. This has been today's financial market report brought to you by Clayton McMurdy of Edward Jones, member SIPC, serving individual investors with personalized attention and long-term financial advice at 1309 North Main Street in Logan. If you'd like any additional information or current stock prices, please feel free to give us a call at 435-753-0537. You can also visit any of our 7 branches here in Cache Valley or visit us online at edwardjones.com.
The Cache Valley Media Group Home and Garden Show presented by Anderson Seed and Garden is March 24th and 25th. As a business owner, you can visit with, invite, and explain to thousands of potential customers how your business can help. How else are you going to come in contact with several thousand people in only 2 days? The Cache Valley Media Group Home and Garden Show at the Eccles Ice Center. Google Cache Valley Home and Garden Show for details or call 752-1390 for more.
All COVID precautions will be taken.
Where do you turn for help when you have ear, nose, or throat issues? Doctors Kaiser or Wilson at Intermountain Healthcare, Budge Clinic ENT are trusted names throughout Cache Valley. Their 5-star reviews tell the story. One person wrote, Dr. Wilson answered all of my questions and was very thorough. Another person wrote, Dr. Wilson took time to ask a lot of questions and figure out what was going on. For more information about Doctors Kaiser or Wilson, search Budge Clinic ENT on the web. Doctors Kaiser and Wilson provide local care with Intermountain expertise.
The Above and Beyond Salute.
Ashley Smith, this is Will Feelright from KVNU, and I'm calling to announce that you have been selected as the winner of this week's Above and Beyond Salute from Firehouse Subs.
Well, thank you. Wow.
Ashley is a strong, amazing friend who is not only a wife and mother, but a full volunteer firefighter, EMT, and recently stepped up to the plate in filling the assistant chief position at the Paradise Fire and Rescue.
Well, I don't know what to say. Thank you.
Recognizing first responders and other deserving individuals in our community. Friday mornings at 8:30 on News Talk KVNU.
Welcome back to... I had to wait. You gotta wait for those musical cues. Welcome back to KVNU's For the People. Charlie Schill, our guest here in the studio. North Logan Mayor Lindsay Peterson joining us at 5 o'clock. We'll hear what's in the legislative session has North Logan worried. That seems to be the tenor out there for cities right now when the legislature is in session. What are they going to do to us this time? It's a weird trend from the last couple of years. For a legislature that likes to tout local control, they've kind of made... hypocrites of themselves on that the last few years.
Well,
cities are nervous.
There's a lot of motion down there about making development easier for
Yeah.
multi-family housing.
Yeah, that's. I don't know. It's they asked. Well, we won't get into it. I'll say this: they asked cities to come up with master plans 5 years ago. They said come up with a housing master plan. So cities did that, and now they're saying, "Nah, we don't care. We're the legislature." It's weird, but we'll get an update from North Logan coming up at 5 with Mayor Peterson here in the studio. Spoke with Logan City Mayor Holly Daines yesterday on the show. If you want to hear that via the podcast, she had quite a bit to say about the legislative session as well. Right now, we're putting all of that aside for the time being for a theater hour with Charlie Schill, 753-5868. And Charlie, a fun question from a listener that came in while we've been speaking here. Listener said, there's no way I'm making it to all of this summer. Just hearing what you guys have talked about the last few shows. If I can only see one or two things, what would Charlie recommend? That's a tough question if you have to narrow it down to like one or two things for the... I'm assuming they mean for the year?
I'd buy tickets to... 2 different versions of Aida at the Festival Opera.
I think that's going to be fun.
They're doing the Verdi opera,
the traditional, the original.
Yes. Is it Verdi?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Anyway, they're doing the Verdi opera, full blown. All the theatrics of a full grand opera, with Audrey Babcock playing the Egyptian princess. Who's the troublemaker?
Stirs the pot.
Stirs the pot, yes. We don't know who will be playing Aida herself, but yet.
This is now the original, the Verdi opera is long, right? Isn't it?
Oh, sure.
Four acts? I'm trying to remember. I don't remember exactly.
I don't remember.
I remember when they went to one of the act breaks, I thought, another? When I was young and first saw this, it's lengthy. And then the other one is sort of the pop version of Aida.
Elton John and Tim Rice created this. Well, check me. Is it Tim Rice or is it?
Yeah.
Is it Tim?
Tim Rice. Yeah.
Okay. I was.
Who also did?
Oh yeah,
he did Lion King, didn't he? Isn't he involved in that?
He's. Rice is normally Andrew Lloyd Webber's
that's right.
collaborator.
That's right.
But they're going to do the pop version of that and allow audiences to see the two of them stacked up against each other.
That is...
And I can't imagine what that's going to be like.
That is... I didn't know this when we talked about this last time, but the stage production of the Elton John Tim Rice version was actually preceded by a year with an album. They recorded some songs that would end up in that stage production.
Sure.
and released an album, knowing the whole time it was going to be hitting the stage soon. And so it was, the big question was, did they plan this ever as a full stage production, or was it just, they just wanted to record the music? And Elton John in an interview said, no, the stage production was our goal.
Oh, yeah.
But we needed some money and some attention. So we put the album out a year early.
like Elton John needs some money.
I would assume he probably could have bankrolled the whole thing and not even noticed it.
He wanted to be playing with the investors' money, not his.
That's right.
But, I think that will be really sensational.
Yeah, and fun to see them. Now, I'm trying to quickly get to their actual calendar here. It would be possible to see these in consecutive nights, right?
Oh yeah,
they overlap a bit.
Yeah.
I know. Last time I looked, I know they overlapped at least three days. So yeah, it would be. You could see them back to back, and I think that would be a fun way to do it.
I suspect what will happen, because I go to see all of the premieres. I'm likely to see Elton John's Aida in the afternoon and the full Verdi version that evening.
That would be the way to do it. You know, whichever order you can.
Your ass will be pretty flat by the time you're done sitting through those.
You're going to want to take some steps in the act breaks by that second show. But yeah,
that's for sure.
It's but that would be kind of a fun experience to see the two different versions back to back like that. And yeah, I finally got the calendar here. It would be possible on at least 3 days. Maybe more if I can click fast enough here. But so there you have it, answering a listener's question. If you could only see one or two things this summer, Charlie recommends seeing the two different versions of Aida that the Utah Festival Opera will be putting on this summer. The Tim Rice Elton John version and the OG, the original Verdi opera that is a bit lengthy. That will be playing at least for a few days at the same time. So
that's going to be the sensation of the summer season. That's all there is to it.
That would be. Do you know if any of the? I'm assuming not where they do overlap, but are there any cast members in both? There'd have to be.
Audrey Babcock.
Oh, she's in both. Oh, wow.
What they're going to do?
That's going to be interesting.
She will play the. I guess she's sort of the villain in the Verdi, and then we'll go on to play the same role in the Elton John Tim Rice version. That probably the entire cast will carry over from one to the other.
That's going to be interesting.
Well, it's a neat gimmick.
It really is, because you could do some fun things with that. You could even maybe give a little wink to the audience. In the, I know you were here for the earlier one.
Audrey Babcock is just wildly talented. She played Carmen this last year.
I didn't realize that was her. That was what a voice.
Oh yeah.
That is almost sounded impossible at certain moments in Carmen.
Well, and then she did this Beyond Carmen, which was a concert that she gave with a guitarist, a solo guitarist, and she performed that singing in Spanish and Yiddish and a dialect that kind of blended the two.
That is interesting.
Oh, God.
That's really cool. Talented. I sing in the shower, and you don't want to hear it.
Michael
That is so cool.
They brought her in primarily to play Carmen. And I'm quite certain that it was her performance in Carmen that led Michael Ballum to thinking, we could do this, and we could do Verdi, and then we could do the Elton John version.
Interesting.
I could imagine the palms of his hands sweating when he thought about being able to do that. So
that is, and hats off to them for every year having something like this, something original and unique. And last year it was the open air opera in a field, which
Tenderland.
Still such a cool idea. Yeah, they keep it fresh, to say the least. And for listeners, if you want to see the full lineup, by the way, for the Utah Festival Opera this summer, quite a bit on their calendar. That is out there already, and I've linked to their page. You can simply search Utah Festival Opera as well and find that and see what you want to get out and see. Charlie Schill, our guest here in the studio. More of the For the People Theater Hour right after this.
Welcome to Everyone's Metal Store. Home to tons of metal products for the DIYer or experienced pros. With a sales staff ready to assist with any type of metal question. Palmer's Metal Mart in Logan is your metal store. No matter the size of your project. With one of the state's best selections of metal products under one roof, you will love the price and selection at Metal Mart. For almost 30 years, for projects big or small, customers have found their home for metal products and extraordinary service to be at Metal Mart. No matter your knowledge of metal products, Metal Mart is here to serve. Give us a call or come into our store in Logan and see why we're everyone's metal store. If you need metal roofing, tubing or pipe, sheet metal, angle iron, purlins or rebar, call Palmer's Metal Mart today. When it comes to metal, just remember Palmer's Metal Mart, everyone's metal store. It's that simple. Visit us online at palmersmetalmart.com or in Logan, just east of the airport. Steel, service, and savings. See you soon.
It's a cold, blustery night, but you're warm and cozy inside in front of your new low-pi or extraordinaire fireplace. The dancing flames, nice even heat. You and yours are loving it, and you know it's love when they say,
"Boy, we're really saving on our heat bills, aren't we, hun?"
For the love of savings, ask Jim Chimney about rebates up to $3,800 for qualifying conversions from inefficient wood stoves for fireplaces. We sell, service, and install. Visit us at chimchimney.com.
Bear Lake's Monster Winterfest is January 27th through the 29th. Come on up for a weekend of fun and adventure. It kicks off Friday morning with winter sports at the sinks and lookout areas in Logan Canyon. On Saturday, watch hundreds of brave souls jump into the icy cold waters of Bear Lake for the Monster Plunge. Warm up with a bowl of chili at the Chili Cook-Off. And don't miss the Cardboard Boat Regatta. There's a fun run and, of course, Cisco Disco Fishing. Don't miss this fun winter tradition. Bear Lake's Monster Winterfest, the 27th through the 29th. Go to bearlake.org for all the details.
Welcome back to KVNU's For the People. Another little traffic update here. Well, not little. This is going to be major. If you're stuck in it now, I'm sorry. If you are headed towards this, good chance to get on another road. Caller letting us know that the traffic light at the intersection of US 91 and Hyde Park Lane, a very busy intersection this time of day, with a lot of traffic coming out of the Hyde Park area and a lot of traffic headed north and south on 91. That traffic light apparently is out, so that is functionally a four-way stop right now. If everyone follows the rules. Traffic very backed up, the caller said, which I would guess is an understatement. So, yeah, again, traffic like out at US 91 and Hyde Park Lane. If you can get on another route, do so now, because that is going to be a mess. All right. Our theater hour with Charlie Schill here, a couple of minutes left, and we'll have, not on the next show, but soon, we'll have USU theater to talk about, right?
Sure.
What are you entertaining yourself with this weekend or over the next week?
Well, the RDT show, Repertory Dance Theater, is at the Eccles on Friday, and I was, wondering whether I should skip that or not, and my granddaughter informed me that she was interested in seeing that.
So you'll be there, huh?
So I had to go and grab another ticket.
Now, on the bright side, according to their website, her ticket is 50% off.
Yeah.
So
I think Allie is looking for a replacement for the Odyssey Dance Company, and I'm not sure she's going to find it, but
yeah,
we'll see what happens.
That's going to be very noticeable this fall, coming fall.
It's a shame.
Yeah, that Thriller performance was legendary, to say the least.
Oh, and the less well known, but their version of the Nutcracker, was great.
That was Many people I know made the trip for that one if they missed it when it toured. That's Odyssey Dance Company is going to be missed. Repertory, though, they have quite a reputation, especially here locally. Get out and see that tomorrow night at the Eccles Repertory Dance Theater. Tickets are pretty cheap, and there's still quite a few available. And they are in town just one night only. Our theater hour will return next Thursday at 4. Charlie will join us for more, and hope you'll stick with us. North Logan Mayor Lindsay Peterson, our guest, to kick off hour 2 of today's show, which starts right after this here on KVNU Logan.